Thank you all for joining us today at our 6th Michigan Reunification Day. We are thrilled to be hosting this remarkable event again, and I want to extend a warm welcome and heartfelt congratulations to all those who have participated in the reunification process and successfully brought their families back together. I would also like to welcome the esteemed colleagues, Justice Megan Kavanaugh and Justice Kyra Golden. It's an honor to have both of you with us today. We are privileged to be joined by several distinguished individuals, including State Court Administrator Tom Boyd, Deputy State Court Administrator Liza Rios, and MJI Director John Neisel. Thank you all for being here. We are also delighted to partner this year with Judges Valencia LaToya Miller and Karen Braxton from the 3rd Circuit Court of Wayne County. We appreciate you and the families of Wayne County being here today, and thank you and your amazing staff for all of the work that you do on behalf of children and families in Wayne County. I want to welcome our friends in the legislative branch, State Representative Stephanie Young from the 16th House District, State Representative Christine Morse from the 40th House District, and State Representative Sarah Leitner from the 45th House District. Thank you all for your service to our state and your passion and support for Michigan families. We're happy that you joined us today. I would also like to express our gratitude to our incredible child welfare partners who have joined us. David Kniezek, Senior Chief Deputy Director of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Demetrius Starling, Senior Deputy Director, Children's Services Administration, and Janet Reynolds Snyder, Executive Director of the Michigan Federation for Children and Families. Demetrius and Janet, thank you for joining us again. And David, we hope you enjoy your first reunification celebration at the Hall of Justice and we hope to see you return in the future. I also want to extend a special welcome to this year's MDHHS Guy Thompson Family Preservation Award recipients, Megan Beals and Courtney Kramer. Lastly, I want to acknowledge and give a huge thank you to our tremendous team at the Hall of Justice that made this event possible this year. First, Kelly Wagner, Director of our Child Welfare Services Division, and her incredible team, Casey Anbender, Katie Todd, Darla Brandon, and Annette Donnell. Thank you all for the work that you do on behalf of the court and SCAO to assist courts across the state and your partnership with DHHS to help families in Michigan. Second, our communications division led by John Nevin. As you can see, there was a lot of planning that went into making this event a success, and we could not do it without John and his incredible team, Stacy Selleck and Raven Gilmore. Thank you for making this happen today. I also want to thank Hall of Justice Security led by Frank Moraz for all of the behind-the-scenes work they do to support us on special days like today. Since last year's reunification celebration, the court has seen many changes. First, I was honored to be elected Chief Justice by my peers. Also, this health institution marked a historic milestone when it seated its first Black female justice. I had to step down from my cherished administrative liaison roles on child welfare matters and problem-solving courts. Witnessing remarkable transformations in children and families of Michigan through our life-saving problem-solving courts has been a pleasure and a life-changing experience for me. Reunification Day is one occasion where these two areas sometimes converge. For example, I have seen parents who have lost their kids change their lives through family treatment courts and then get their kids back. Retired Judge Sue Dobrich from Cass County has brought several such families to past Reunification Day celebrations. It makes me so proud to hear about these court programs, and more importantly, how hard parents have worked to reunite their families. Reuniting families whenever possible is the goal, and I am grateful to have the opportunity to celebrate all of you today. Although stepping away was difficult for me, I confidently leave this responsibility in the very capable hands of my former co-liaison, Justice Kavanaugh, who has been an incredible partner, and now Justice Golden, who brings a new passion and experience to this liaison role. But I will remain their #1 supporter in all the work they do for children and families in Michigan. Please welcome them both to the podium to start the program.
Well, good afternoon. I guess we're afternoon now, right? So thank you. On behalf of my colleagues on the bench, I would like to extend our deepest appreciation to Chief Justice Clement for her exceptional dedication and hard work as Michigan Supreme Court's co-liaison on child welfare issues. Your unwavering dedication to Michigan children, encompassing areas such as juvenile justice reform and family reunification, including events such as this, has been nothing short of inspiring. So thank you for your capable leadership and partnership over the last number of years. And thanks to that, Michigan has a solid foundation to keep building a state where every child has the chance to achieve their full potential. It has been a pleasure and an honor to collaborate with you on these important issues. And with change comes new opportunity, and that is certainly the case here. And so I am thrilled to embark on a new chapter with our incoming co-liaison. She too has demonstrated a commendable commitment to championing the welfare of families and children in her own right. With a fervent pursuit of equity in maternal and infant care, she brings a diverse perspective and experience to the table. As a new mom who is eagerly anticipating her daughter's upcoming first birthday, sweetest baby ever, she shares a personal connection with the events and causes that lie at the heart of our work here. I'm confident that her endeavors will resonate deeply with her and accompany her on her journey of personal and family growth. So once again, I would like to express my gratitude to Chief Justice Clement for her leadership and extend a warm welcome to Justice Bolden for our new partnership as co-liaisons for child welfare. And together, we will continue our unwavering commitment of the judiciary to fostering a brighter future for Michigan's children and families. So I'm honored to introduce my friend and co-liaison, Justice Bolden.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you, Justice Kavanaugh, for your introduction, and I would also like to express my gratitude to Chief Justice Clement for her tireless dedication and hard work. I'm well aware of your deep passion for this role, and I acknowledge the pressure that comes with it. However, the support of my co-liaison, Justice Kavanaugh, a clear understanding of the significance and purpose behind our work, and even the occasional face painting, I am committed to giving my absolute best in this role in serving the children and families of Michigan. And I'd like to take a moment to express my sincere appreciation to all of you for joining us today at the 6th Michigan Reunification Day. It brings us immense joy to host this extraordinary event, and I extend a warm welcome and heartfelt congratulations to all of those who have participated in the reunification process and successfully reunited their families. Here in Michigan, we take great pride in being one of the 35 states that celebrate Reunification Day as part of the American Bar Association's annual observance of National Reunification Month. We encourage all of you to share your experiences and content on social media using the hashtag #MIReunification. And don't forget to tag the Michigan Supreme Court, please. Today's event is a special occasion where we come together to honor the reunification of children in foster care and their biological families. It is also an opportunity to recognize and appreciate the dedication of the professionals who work tirelessly to protect these children and ensure their safe return to their parents and siblings. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to our cohorts, community members, social workers, and volunteers who have played a pivotal role in making the reunification process a success for countless families. Your unwavering commitment has truly made a positive impact on the lives of so many. Furthermore, we want to acknowledge and celebrate the courageous families from Wayne County who are here with us today. We are immensely proud of them, and their presence here is a testament to their perseverance in the face of adversity to reunite with their loved ones and rebuild their lives. These families have generously shared their personal stories of reunification, and they deserve our applause and admiration. Their experiences have served as a beacon of hope for other families who may be going through similar challenges. Thank you.
All right, so the challenges and problems that break families apart can be daunting, requiring tremendous effort, passion, and hard work to overcome. For these reasons, I too commend the judges, court staff, and the HHS professionals and all others who provided unwavering support to these families during their most challenging moments. Today, as we celebrate overcoming those obstacles, we have an amazing array of festivities planned for you, along with inspiring stories from several recently reunited families. And while each family undoubtedly has a unique story to share, there's a common thread that runs through every account of reunification, and that is the transformative power of forgiveness and love. Parenting, as we all know, is far from easy. As a parent and step-parent of 4 children myself, I readily acknowledge that being a parent is a challenging journey. Despite our best intentions, parents, like any human beings, make mistakes. I don't go into the details of those that I have made. They're very small, I'm sure. But rest assured, my children survived every blunder that I have made. The beauty of reunification lies in the courage to embrace second chances, to have the courage to forgive, and the faith to love unconditionally. As the stories of these amazing families will demonstrate, those second chances have yielded remarkable results. The ability to forgive is a fundamental trait that we all possess, and the experiences of these families exemplify the positive outcomes that arise when we extend forgiveness to our loved ones. Additionally, I am certain that these families have gleaned valuable lessons from their past, and I hope that these lessons will serve as a wellspring of inspiration during challenging times in the future. Furthermore, I aspire for today's celebration to serve as an enduring source of inspiration, a testament to the unquestionable truth that nothing holds greater significance than family. It is important to us to do everything within our power in the judiciary to keep families united while ensuring the safety and well-being of children. This is precisely why the courts are deeply committed to supporting families. Reunification represents the pinnacle of court community engagement as our judiciary actively contributes to making families, our friends and neighbors who may be grappling with difficulties, to make them whole once again. This in turn fortifies our communities and makes them stronger. I want to thank the families. I know that this is, while it's a day of celebration, it's not an easy thing to do. It's a very brave thing that you're here sharing your stories with us. So thank you for that. And for letting us be a part of this with you and to celebrate your journey. I know that that's not always easy, even though it's a happy day, so thank you for that. So with that, I would like to turn it over to Justice Bolden again.
All right, let's get this party started, shall we? I am delighted to introduce my friend, David Kamizik, the Chief Deputy Director of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. We are honored to have David with us because our agency partners play a vital role in ensuring successful family reunification. Chief Deputy Kamizik, your presence here today is greatly appreciated. Welcome. And you will come to the podium.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Oh, we can do better than that. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you to Justice Bolden for that great introduction, and thank you to Justice Kavanaugh for your remarks. And as Justice Clement mentioned, this is my first Reunification Day event. I promise you it will not be my last. It is such an honor to be here with you today on behalf of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and Director Elizabeth Hertel. We are an organization that is devoted to a fundamentally important and a very challenging mission: keeping kids safe and keeping families together. We understand that we are interacting with children and families during what might be some of the most difficult moments in their lives. And I expect that the stories that we're going to hear here today will reflect those feelings. We recognize that the recommendation to remove a child is not an easy decision for anybody involved. We plan to continue to do everything in our power to keep kids safe, to keep families together, and if a child or children are removed from the home, safe reunification is ultimately our goal. We want to see families come together again. So being here to listen to these journeys, to listen to the reunification, for me personally, I know will be incredibly heartening. And I know for the members of our team that are here today, it will serve as further fuel for our commitment to children and to families across the state. Just last year, more than 2,000 children were safely reunified with their families. We are continuing to work on ways to adapt and increase safe reunification by meeting the needs of those children and families throughout the state. Some of you may have seen or heard, Michigan has recently announced our Keep Kids Safe agenda. And this relies on best practices in child welfare, best practices that commit the department to the nation's highest standards. That agenda includes investing millions of dollars to create more family resource centers, continuing to expand home visits by nurses and other professionals, and looking to meet the needs of families sooner and where they're at. We want to improve the process for handling reports of suspected child abuse and neglect. We want to increase access to mental health and substance use treatment while improving paths and access to food, housing, and utility assistance. In short, the agenda is a plan that builds upon our current work to strengthen services, strengthen programs, practices, and policies that seek to help keep families together or to reunite them successfully. And so on behalf of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, I want to offer our best wishes to the families that are seated here today and to all of the families that are working towards reunification across the state. I want to thank the Michigan Supreme Court, our local court officials and employees, all of our community partners and agencies for your work. And I also want to recognize and congratulate this year's award recipients. Thank you for your ongoing commitment and contributions to Michigan families. And with that being said, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our next speaker, Janet Reynolds-Snyder. She's the Executive Director of the Michigan Federation for Children and Families and a wonderful partner in this work. Janet?
Thank you very much, Chief Deputy Director Kanizik. Thank you very much to the warm welcome from Justice Clement and all the warm words from Justice Kavanaugh and Justice Bolden. It's really exciting to be here today. Happy 2023 Family Reunification Day. This is a wonderful event. I am Janet Reynolds-Snyder. I'm Executive Director of the Michigan Federation for Children and Families. And on behalf of the Federation, it is such an honor and inspiration to celebrate here with you today. Families who have worked really hard to come together after challenging times. I can imagine that there have been times when obstacles seemed nearly insurmountable, but you dug in with all your strength. And it is because of that strength, your commitment, dedication, and amazing heart that we are here together today in celebration. The Federation is a statewide nonprofit association of private, nonprofit, community-based organizations who partner through contract with Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the courts partner with MDHHS and partner with courts to provide supportive services to children and families throughout all 83 counties in Michigan through an array of family preservation, behavioral health, child welfare programs. Each year, and for many years, the Federation has annually developed its key advocacy and policy priorities with a focus on systemic changes that improve the child welfare system and lead to best outcomes for children and their families engaged with Michigan's network of community-based organizations Several of the Federation's advocacy and policy priorities center specifically how we as a system learn from and engage with families, keeping safety and unity first by creating a family-focused child welfare or family and child well-being system that integrates a whole family to generation approach. We honor families as experts of their own lives and value their engagement in helping to shape a system that centers families in a shared vision to address inequities, increase economic stability, and well-being. Centering on equity to reduce disparate outcomes for children and their families and assuring equitable access to services which support keeping families safe and together, and valuing the rights of children in deserving excellence in service and our best efforts to ensure they grow up in strong families and supportive communities. I extend a heartfelt thank you to families who have worked so hard to come together. We honor you for your courage and for the opportunity to learn from and engage with you to advance a better child and family well-being system. I want to also recognize Director Demetrius Starling for his forward thinking and commitment, and that of his team within Children's Services in embracing a whole family approach to supporting children and families to reduce the likelihood of family separation and move towards a system that addresses inequity and improves economic stability and the health and well-being of families. We are thrilled to partner with you in this shift towards becoming a more equitable and prevention-focused system that prioritizes children and families remaining together in the community. We also recognize the deep commitment and dedication from our courts, child and family attorneys, Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and all our community partners, as just as the challenges that can separate families are so hard, so are the problems and challenging at times supporting reunification. Thank you for making family reunification a priority. The Michigan Supreme Court's Reunification Day lifts up families' commitment, hard work, and dedication to come together as separation has happened. The Federation is very proud to be part of today's celebration and honors all, especially our families. Thank you very, very much for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Janet, for that and for being truly a great and long trusted partner. We appreciate all that you do to collaborate with us and what the Federation does as well. So now it is my honor to introduce Judge Cynthia LaToy Miller from the 3rd Circuit in Wayne County. We are incredibly grateful and indebted to her for the contributions to Wayne County's Family Reunification Court and are delighted to have her up here to share with us and introduce her guest of honor today. So I'm looking forward to hearing from them. So Judge Miller.
Mic the mic first. All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Yes. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to actually take it back up. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cynthia LaToy Miller. I'm so honored and privileged to be with you this afternoon. I am truly, truly grateful to Chief Justice Clement, to Justice Kavanaugh, to Justice Bolden, to our Supreme Court Administrator Tom Boyd, and the entire Michigan Supreme Court team who's here today, especially Katie Todd, who's just been, like, she's just wonderful, period. I'm grateful to you for setting up a day on which we can recognize and salute people who have won the battle to reunify. It sends a very powerful message when the highest court in the state of Michigan stops and says we have to acknowledge
these moms and dads who put in the work. We have to thank them. We have to commend them. And to be a part of this day is just truly, for me, a blessing and a privilege. I also want to thank you for honoring and recognizing along with me today my dear friend, my sister in justice, and my colleague, Judge Karen Braxton. She's one of my heroes and sheroes. She's just an extraordinary jurist, very, very dedicated to doing the very best that we can all do to help our families reunify. And so I congratulate her for being here with me today, and I look forward to hearing about the families that she's recognizing. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge my extremely hardworking and extraordinary team members. I'm honored and privileged to have with me today my administrative assistant, Ms. Cheyenne Cooper, who's back there trying to get photographs. My court reporter, Dave Cuccinella. My corporal, Stephanie Banks. And my clerk, who could not be with us today, but I have to acknowledge her as well because she puts in the work, and she's in Egypt. So we wish her safe travels, and in her absence, we thank Rochelle Mays. They make everything run like a well-oiled machine and make it much easier for me to try to serve the families that appear in front of me, and I could not make it happen without you all, so thank you so very much. In addition, I want to acknowledge our administrative partner, my partner in good things, not crime, the Juvenile Section Deputy Court Administrator, Toy Lynn Smith. Many of you here know her and her work and her reputation. She's just an amazing and dedicated leader, and makes certain that the Juvenile Court, in partnership, we are working together to make certain we're serving families in the best and most creative ways to bring about change and to help have more families be able to come for days like this. I also want to thank you for this opportunity to join in recognizing, again, parents who fought for their children. This is a time to honor parents who fought to reunify when they could have just tossed up their hands in disgust and given up. Instead, they dug deep. They put up with our intrusions into their lives, their homes, histories, jobs, finances, mental health, drug use, everything. We just pry into every single little nook and cranny. And they could have just said, I'm out of here, forget it, take the kids. But they didn't do that. And it's so vital. You're gonna make me cry, Ms. Davis, don't do it. It's so vital for us to recognize how intrusive this process is. We can't sit here and make light of that. Just imagine if somebody's just literally crawling up every single aspect of your life to see if you are fit and suitable to raise the children you gave birth to, or that you helped to make, in the case of our fathers. And in this case, I've got two women with me today and one man who couldn't make it, but was planning to be here. But they said, not me, not today, not my babies, not my children, not ever. I began my legal career as an employment defense attorney at one of Michigan's silk stocking firms. When I first became a judge, I was on the 36th Judicial District Court bench in Detroit. And in 2019, I became a circuit court judge and was placed in the Family Division Juvenile Section. I knew so little about the juvenile court that I literally had to Google, where was it? I had never set foot in anyone's juvenile court building in my entire career, either as a judge or as a practicing attorney for 10 years before becoming a judge. That's how little I knew about juvenile court. At that time, I met with the then Chief Judge, Timothy Kenny, and the Executive Court Administrator at that time, Zanelle Brown. And I told them emphatically, first opening out of here, I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm going to criminal. That's where I want to be. I don't know anything about juvenile. I don't know what I'm doing, and but I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get in those bench books. I'm going to sort it out. But I'm leaving. I'm transferring out. 4 years later, and lots of opportunities to transfer, I'm still here. And now I'm privileged to serve as the presiding judge. And you may be asking, like, what is she on a ego thing? No. I'm trying to make the point that the thing that kept me from fleeing to the criminal division, the thing that keeps me there, the thing that gets me up and has me smiling every day to be able to do this job, sometimes crying, sometimes laughing, but definitely smiling and grateful and happy to be able to go and serve, is two things. Being able to help my children on the delinquency docket to rehabilitate, and being able to help my families on the neglect docket to be able to reunify. Those are the things that make this all worthwhile and make me get up every day going, whoo, you actually are paid, I'm getting paid to do this job? To be able to help families in this way, to be able to help some kids maybe not graduate to the adult criminal system, what a blessing that is, truly. You see, I'm not what some of the kids call a hater. I want to see everybody succeed. I understand rising tides lift all boats. And I want to see every single person be able to be their best self. And when we have parents who come in, what we need to do is to help them, not hurt them, not label them, not give up on them, not decide that they're unworthy, not decide they're bad people, but to sit there and look at them and understand that but for grace, it could be any of us. Watching mothers and fathers come into my courtroom at the initial stage, shattered, broken, breaking, feeling disparaged, mortified, crying, fighting back tears, and frankly, terrified to their bone marrow is heartbreaking. Having an opportunity to lead a family full of hurting, embarrassed, frustrated, disgusted, angry, afraid, and nervous people to a place of forgiveness, healing, peace, joy, and love. That's what it's all about. That's what this day is all about. Helping people get to that part of it. But knowing that in many of those cases, even some of those seeking termination of parental rights, there is hope if only the parents want to push past the myriad emotions they are experiencing, find strength they didn't know they had, be willing to accept some direction and a lot of intrusion, and get back to being the best parent they can be. That hope keeps me going. That hope is what this day is all about. Now, I want to acknowledge Director Starling and all the folks from MDHHS, because in serving these families, that partnership is essential. It is a critical, critical partnership. And I want to congratulate the award recipients, Ms. Beals and Ms. Kramer, on getting these awards and this recognition today. And I also want all of us to remember that as we approach these cases, it is imperative that MDHHS workers, the assistant attorney generals who work on these files and cases, and us as judges, keep an open mind. None of us is perfect. Any of us can lose it and strike out inappropriately. Have you ever had a rough day at work and came home and snapped at your kid or your dog? Is there anyone here who ever dated a person who turned out not to be quite who we thought he or she was? If we were parents when that happened, we were perhaps 1/2 an inch from that person being so twisted that he or she could have hurt our child. It's an easy thing to think about and a horrible thing to experience. my point again is that but for grace, it could have been any of us on the other side of the bench or the empty HHS Form 3200. We cannot lose that perspective because every parent who made a bad call about how to respond to stress, whom to love, failed to take their psychotropic medication, is battling addiction, is not a bad parent. Rather, he or she is a human being who made a flawed decision just like the rest of us. Today, I brought two families with me. I had three lined up, and I want to recognize in his absence Mr. Ronald Wittig and his son Cole. And with Ronald, he wasn't able to make it. He notified us yesterday that he wasn't going to be able to make it. But I do still want to acknowledge his work to get back with his son. Ronald was presented to us as a gentleman who was struggling with an addiction issue. And I want you to know that he never quit. And this is important as a lesson, I think, for all of us, because sometimes we don't have, like Ms. Dupree and Ms. Davis had, great family members. Ms. Dupree's mom is here with her today. And we don't have necessarily the workers who are on our team, like Mr. Cornell Lynch is here as a family reunification worker with Ms. Davis. Sometimes we don't have anybody on our team except us and maybe the man above. And Mr. Wittig was that person. When he landed in my courtroom, the workers were sick of him. That's just the bottom line. They were done with him. His whole family was mad at him. Nobody was talking to him. Some of them were actively engaging in tactics to try to really keep him from reunifying. But he fought. He never gave up. He never quit. He kept pushing, and he was able to successfully reunify. And although he's not here, I do want to acknowledge him and tell that story. And I wish him and his son Cole continued success. And now I want to talk about Ms. Rebecca Dupree. This lovely young lady appeared in my courtroom, and she was very hurting, just so devastated. I think Rebecca cried in almost every hearing we had, but thankfully we got to the point where the tears were joyful, and today they're joyful. Rebecca had various issues that presented her to the court, along with her beautiful son, who has that lovely face paint, Justice Bolden, going on there today, and that's Anthony. And she fought. She never gave up. She never quit. She displayed a commitment to her son that endeared her to me and to everybody on my team. We all were rooting for you. We couldn't say it, but we were rooting for you, cheering for you, praying for you, honestly. And we're so very, very proud of you, and that you were able to overcome the battles, to overcome the naysayers, to overcome and look past everybody who told you what you couldn't do, to prove that, oh yes, I can. And I can because I love my son. And I'm not walking away. And I'm not giving up. And not today, not ever. And we know it's not easy. We know there are some times right now that you're probably still struggling. But we're still here for you. We're still cheering for you. And we got your back. So at that, I'd love to bring up Rebecca and her son. And I'd love if her mom could maybe just wave, because her mom has been such a trooper. She showed up at every hearing. She fought to be able to keep Anthony. She argued with everybody and anybody, like, listen here, now y'all not gonna give up on my daughter, because I'm not giving up on my daughter, and I'm not giving up on my grandson. And so I salute you as well. You're a wonderful mother and grandmother. It's okay. So very welcome. Do you want to say something? You don't have to. It's up to you.
I want to say thank you to every single person within the justice system that has helped reunite me and my son back together. Without you guys, that would not have been accomplished. So thank you.
Hi.
Thank you so very much. Congratulations again. We're so very, very proud of you. All right. Next, I'd like to bring up and recognize Ms. Indiara Davis. And Ms. Davis has 3 beautiful, handsome sons with her, Jalen, Jordan, and Jaden, who are sitting right here. And they've been playing and having a good time today as well. And Ms. Davis came to us, and she had, she's crunching up her face already. Ms. Davis came to us, and her 3 boys had been taken from her care and custody, and she was so distraught. And she also was in tears, and that's always a hint, right? If the parents are coming in and they're kind of sitting there like, whatever, you know, whatever, we're just here, I don't know, maybe I'll show up, maybe I won't. But when they make every single hearing, when they are totally committed to this process, as she was, she made every hearing. She was arguing, she was fighting. She said, I'm not giving up again. She said, I'm not giving up, I'm not gonna quit, not today, not ever. And I want to salute her, but I also want to bring up her reunification worker, her family reunification worker, Cornell Lynch, because let me tell you how great MDHHS can be. He drove her here today. He made sure she was going to be here today. So I'm going to bring them up real quickly. Ms. Davis and Mr. Lynch and Jaden, Jordan, and Jalen. Come on up, guys.
Hi everybody. I feel a little underdressed first of all. I'm gonna try not to cry, but my time with my 5 years of my kids being removed from me was the most excruciating pain there could be. It took me a long time. I didn't have a mother to help me. I didn't have a father to help me. I had no one. I was the only person there for my kids. And it was just so hard to just get the help I needed. Some workers didn't want to do their work. Some people didn't want to do nothing at all. And it was just like all I had was me to fight for them. And it took a while, and I fought through it. And like she said, it was times I was just like, y'all get on my nerves, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. And it was so many times that I just wanted to say, I'm done with it, I give up. And it was so many workers that did compliment me for even just saying, you know how many parents that just gave up and just left their kids. And it was so many times that I wanted to do that because the pain that I went through was just like unbearable. And I remember when I got with Judge Miller, and she got on me and she snapped me out of my stubborn mood. And she also let me know, like, you have to do this. You gotta do what you gotta do to get these boys back home. It was some bashing and it was some get it together. And then when they finally came back home, I got with him and he was like, hey, we gonna do this. I'm like, I wanna do this, I'm gonna fill out this application, I'm gonna go here. And he had my back every step of the way. And I'm here today, it's been a whole year, January 10th. Keep stable housing, and I'm almost there. I'm still having a little trouble. I filled out every application there possibly can be, and everything's slow, still coming out of COVID and everything, and everybody's remodeling and everything, so that's still my biggest problem. But we're good, and everybody's going to school, everybody's going to their doctor's appointments, everybody's on track. I still struggle. The hardest part that I do want to say is when they come back home, the struggles and the things they've dealt with in the foster homes, when they come back, you have to adapt to that. And sometimes it can be frustrating, and sometimes you just don't know what to do. And now I know that just talking to them or letting them act out what their problem may be and then coming back to it later is the biggest thing that bothers me till this day. Just trying to get them back adapted to my life. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cordell Lynch. I was Ms. Davis' family reunification worker, and I worked for her for 3 months. And throughout those 3 months, she worked exceptionally hard. She's a devoted mom, and she loves her boys very much. Like Ms. Davis said, throughout those 3 months, Ms. Davis, she's a go-getter. If she wants something, she's gonna go get it. She's calling me every week. We put the boys in the back seat, beat them McDonald's, and we was getting housing, we was applying for jobs, we was going here, we was going there. We was on the go, okay? But it was well worth it. Like I said, I'm glad to see the outcome. I'm glad to see they're doing well. And Ms. Davis, you worked very hard, and I'm proud of you.
All right. Thank you so very much. And again, please give her another round of applause. The last thing I want to say is just kind of a charge to all of us that we need to focus on creating a central repository for resources for families to be able to access. In MDHHS, we have a lot of resources that are available, and I say we, I'm a former social worker myself. And I know that we have a lot of resources, but we need to get those available to the public in a way that they can easily access them and know what's available. And we also need to put a little more spotlight, well, a lot more spotlight on the CAMs that we have around our state. The CAMs allow people to be able, who are seeking reunification for whom homelessness or housing is an impediment, to go to the top of the list and be able to bypass those really long Section 8 lists. But so many people aren't aware. So those are my 2 things that I would say we need to work on as a system so that we can make certain we're giving our very level best to the families who are reunifying. Thank you again, everyone. I'm sorry for being a little windy. And thank you, and God bless. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
That was truly inspiring. So thank you, Judge Miller, and congratulations to the families. Now I would like to invite Judge Karen Braxton to the podium to share her remarkable contributions in the field of reunification. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Judge Braxton.
All right, good afternoon. I always start off my speeches with, I am a daughter of a Baptist pastor. So one thing I do is always do things decently and in order. I do have my phone up here. I was given 10 minutes. I'm starting my timer now. Good afternoon. My name is Karen Braxton. I am honored to serve as a judge in the 3rd Circuit Court in the Family Division Juvenile Section. I have been there for 11 years now. There's half my speech, so I'll just speak about her. Protocol having been established at this point in time and due to the time of day, giving honor to Chief Justice Clement, to Justice Bolden, and to Justice Kavanaugh, and everyone else that stands on this journey with us in child welfare. This is no easy task. Much like Judge Miller, I was assigned to the juvenile division as a criminal defense attorney. I also told my chief at the time, Judge Virgil Smith, that I would transfer out immediately. It is very hard to come behind Judge Miller, even though she says I'm her hero, she is most certainly mine, but I do have her beat in one thing. I've been here 11 years, and I still haven't left. Thank you to Scale for allowing me to present on today's date. It has been a journey for our courtroom. When we started looking for families that we could find for reunification, I called my secretary, my clerk, my attorney general, my old attorney general, and both of my attorneys that represent children. And we had the hardest time finding families that we reunified. This year, I terminated parental rights on 10 cases where I had deceased children. So my docket doesn't quite lend itself to reunification as much as maybe some others. I was able to locate 2 of my families when they heard we were coming to Lansing, in spite of the mileage reimbursement. I had one family lined up. She said her car wasn't going to make it. I do want to give some credit to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, who did contact the family, offered a ride, but by then she had said she needs to go to work and she needs the money. Because although she's already been reunified, she's still struggling, like the other family said. And for her to drive to Lansing and take that time off of work, even though it was to celebrate her, it was something that she couldn't do. So I do want to raise her up today. Her name is Alaska Colbert. She lost her child. You can clap for her. She lost her child due to physical abuse. And when she first came to the court, she just cried. I asked for her name, she cried. I asked her, have you spoken to your attorney? She cried. She cried and cried and cried. So I finally told Ms. Colbert, I said, Ms. Colbert, you gotta say something else. We gotta get you to a point where we can have a communication with each other and you can understand who I am and what my role is. I said, my role, and I said this openly and honestly, my role is to reunify families, unless there's a reason that I cannot. And so when me and Ms. Colbert had this conversation, she said, well, I thought you were here to take my kids. And I said, well, that's not my job. My job is to ensure that your children are safe. Ms. Colbert got a treatment plan and finished it in 8 months. That's fast, y'all. That's fast. That's fast. You guys, I'll tell you what all of our parents have to do. Parenting classes, individual therapy, family therapy, have a job, have a house, go to work, come to court, meet with the worker, go to all the sessions for their children, and do it with a smile. It's something that I can't do today. If you charged me with this, I couldn't do it because I just don't have enough time in a day. But we ask our parents to do it on a regular basis, and we ask them to do it without attitude. After their kids have been taken. That is the most traumatic experience for our children and for our families, is to have those children removed from their care. And so when they're in those positions, and we ask them to do all these things, we're here to celebrate them because when they do, they've done probably more than we've done in our lifetime. I also want to commend another family. He is a single father of 3, Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott also could not afford to come today because he couldn't take a day off of work. So he had transportation, but again, there's a barrier with employment. But he did want to come. Mr. Scott has 3 girls. That should get your applause on that. He has 3 girls that were removed from his care. He's probably the most laid-back person I have ever met in my entire life. And we told Mr. Scott, here's some things we got to do. He said, well, how much time do I have to do it? I said, the faster you do it, the better it is for you. He said, when do I start? I said, the referrals have been made. Are you ready? He said, I stay ready. And I said, okay, Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott got all 3 of his girls back. So I do want to commend him as well in his absence. He is doing what he's supposed to do. And I really want to commend him because very often we don't see fathers come into the system. We see mothers come in and sometimes they don't know who the father is or the father has opted not to participate. But in this case, Mr. Scott had all 3 of his girls and we didn't know where the mother was. And he took care of all 3 of those girls. And although I only saw that family on Zoom, when he brought those girls to court virtually, they were beautiful. He had done everything to a T for those 3 young ladies, and I'm really proud of Mr. Scott, so I want to raise them up. Reunification Day is very important for me because we don't do this very often. Wayne County has some of the most serious cases in the state. We sit where Children's Hospital of Michigan is, and so we get all the cases where the children come into care severe physical abuse, sexual abuse, deceased children. That's all I see. We are doing a great work here, and I'm glad that you all are celebrating this with us, because there's only some occasions we can come out and say congratulations to our families on the work that they've done to get their children back into their care. Again, it is not an easy feat, and so I want to take this opportunity that although my families were unable to appear, to congratulate the two families that did appear today on the work that you've done and the success that you've had so far. And to our mother who said she's still struggling, me too. Right. It doesn't change. If you have kids, the struggle is real. Your situation was brought to the court's attention. And just like Justice Kavanaugh said, I've probably done something. I won't say probably. I can guarantee you I've done something inappropriate with my kids. And by God's grace, it didn't land me in court. So you had an opportunity to demonstrate your determination, your grit to get to this point. So you may still be struggling in this journey, but rest assured the rest of us are struggling in this journey with you as we continue to raise our children in this day and age with everything that's been thrown at us left and right. So don't be embarrassed and don't be sad when you say that. Grab another mother's hand and say, let's do this. That's right. Okay? So please stay encouraged. My final comments are, just like Judge Miller said, we are in this journey every single day. This is not an easy journey for us. Like Judge Miller said, we cry. We are engaged with these families. We are emotionally attached to these families, and we know we should not be, but there's no way that you can't be when you hear their stories and when you're with those families as long as you are. We continue to need the support of the Department, of SCAO, of the Supreme Court justices, as we embark on this journey to reunify our families as much as we can. As one of the judges in the largest court in this state, not one of the largest courts, the largest court in the state, we continue to fight every day, all day, to have these types of events where we can celebrate our children and our families. So thank you for allowing me to serve in Wayne County. Thank you for allowing me to participate in this. Event. I hope we get an invitation again soon and continue with us in the struggle as we continue to reunify our families in the state of Michigan. Thank you.
Braxton. So to all the families, Ms. Davis, Mr. Dupree, Anthony, Jalen, Jordan, and Jaden, thank you. And we are incredibly grateful for your courage to be here today and to share your stories. As I said before, I know it's not easy, and I'm grateful for that. And your testimonies here are really inspiration for all of us. And so in recognition of the stories we've heard today and of the incredible work of our partners, Judge Miller and Judge Braxton, we'd like to present the Third Circuit Court in Wayne County with a resolution commemorating Michigan Reunification Month. And the Michigan, see what it says here, I think we have a copy of it. Okay, so the Michigan Supreme Court acknowledges the significant achievements of parents and dedicated professionals who have supported them in ensuring the safe and successful return of their children from foster care. And thus we proudly declare June 2023 as Michigan Reunification Month. So Judge Miller and Judge Braxton, if we could present this to you. Congratulations and thanks for all that you do.
Right here, hold it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Get everyone?
All right. Well, Casey's gonna give it. Casey's got it, as always. As always. Now, I would like to welcome our friend and our partner, Demetria Starling, the Senior Deputy Director for Children's Services and Administration, to the podium to honor two remarkable individuals who've gone above and beyond in their work to make reunification stories like this happen and more accessible for more families. So, Director Starling.
Thank you. I wanted to get up here and talk some poetry. That would be a classic for me. So to all of our local, state dignitaries, thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing myself to be here. Private partners, and most importantly, our families. This is by far one of my favorite days to be a part of. This is an amazing accomplishment for families and for our agencies as a child welfare system to recognize. And also, Mr. Scott, where's Mr. Scott? I need for you to find me the secret sauce. You have 3 daughters that you've been able to maintain. I have 2, and I'm strong. You can give me your keys on being a good father. I appreciate it. So again, good afternoon. In 2018, we established 2 awards in memory of Guy Thompson. And you have to excuse me because Guy Thompson was such an amazing figure and titan of our industry that every time I think about this individual and what he meant for us as a child welfare system, I just get choked up. Before his death, Guy was a true family advocate and a genuinely kind human being. He worked in child welfare, preserving families for over 20 years. He left a mark on hearts of those that he knew and that he worked with. He left a legacy at the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services while helping to provide prevention services to families across Michigan. Parents in Michigan overcome huge obstacles and change their lives to reunify with their children. Family preservation staff support them in all of that journey. And for a family preservation worker, reunification is the result of believing in change, having empathy, engagement, listening, building family supports, empowering, and giving voice. It is through long days, hard work, and unwavering desire to preserve families. So our first award is the Guy Thompson Worker Achievement Award. It is bestowed upon a family preservation worker who has been instrumental in assisting a family to become reunified with their children. Megan Beals of Professional Counseling Center is the winner of the 2023 Guy Thompson Worker Achievement Award. Megan was nominated by her supervisor, Kristen Ago, and if I'm murdering your name, please let me know.
It's Christina.
Christine, okay. Who says that Megan served a family whose primary caregiver used a wheelchair. Megan reviewed accommodations for the family and assisted them with resources, services, and how to deal with discrimination that she faced due to her impairments. When the family needed the service a second time, Megan insisted on working with the family even though she had a full caseload at the time. Megan is great at using motivational interviewing, which is an amazing service, a technique that engages families and people and allows them to take the lead of forming their own goals. She can engage clients at a level many social workers only dream of doing. Megan has been in her position for almost 5 years and continues to excel. In fact, she is described as the heart of the Family Reunification Program team at the Professional Counseling Center. In addition, Megan is involved at PCC as part of the Enrichment Committee, Employment Outreach, and philanthropic projects. Megan's passion is evident every day in the work that she does. Congratulations, Megan. Please come up and get your award.
Thank you all for this award. It is truly an honor to receive it and represent family preservation and the essential work we do. I am grateful for everyone who has been a part of my journey, from my family and friends, my colleagues at Professional Counseling Center, my bosses and my team, to our supports at the state level. My supervisor who nominated me stated that I go above and beyond to assist in reunification. However, it never feels like work. I feel like I'm following a calling, just doing what feels right. I have met so many amazing families in my 5 years as an FRP family worker that make the job feel easy. Even through challenges, I never consider myself just a worker, but a cheerleader, a coach, a mentor, and a student. I continue to learn from these families and am grateful for the continued opportunity to work with them and hopefully assist them in changing their lives for the better. It has been such a rewarding career that I cherish every day. Thank you.
Okay, our second award is going to go in regards to our reunification. Reunification is the result of being a change agent within our systems, being innovative and never being satisfied with the status quo. It is creating a learning culture to promote growth and support others through challenging times. It is busting barriers and giving voice and choice to our staff and our families. The Guy Thompson Champion for Reunification Award is bestowed upon a leader who was passionate about the reunification process and continues to show that in their everyday activities. Courtney Kramer, who is a family reunification supervisor with Wellspring Lutheran Services, is this year's winner. Courtney displays professionalism, compassion, and a skilled clinical eye, which has enabled her to offer insight and opportunities for professional development with her staff. Courtney serves families through a non-judgmental, strength-based lens, focusing on each family's individual needs to assure children are safe to be reunified with their family or fit of care. Courtney is a strong role model to her staff and colleagues for the values and beliefs of family preservation. Courtney has been quick and nimble in her efforts to assure families are not negatively impacted by any challenges. During team meetings, Courtney facilitated a safe environment for staff to share concerns, vent frustration, and focus on challenging circumstances present in child welfare, all while encouraging creativity as well as striking a healthy work-life balance. Also, Courtney redirects when needed to assure efficient and productive dialogue with a dose of humor. Congratulations, Courtney. Please come and accept your award.
Thanks for trusting me to take care of business.
I know I was tasked to come up here to give awards, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge two amazing individuals who received acknowledgement today that's well-deserved. So Judge Braxton and Judge Miller, I just want to say thank you for your advocacy, your compassion, your bold leadership, and just being true thought partners in this work with the department. You all have some of the most challenging dockets and work in the state, and we see it through your work. Every time we give you guys a call and just want to talk something out about a specific case or processes, you're always willing to have these conversations. So thank you for meeting you. That really means a lot to me and my administration.
congratulations to Megan and Courtney. And once again, thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion. I hope you all leave with the joy of reunification and the resilience and love that binds families together in your hearts. We hope you can stay and enjoy all the fun that we have planned for you. Thank you so much again. Have a good rest of your day.